a huge fan. I have to tell you this. I am Sani Dhapa is seriously one of my all-time favorites. There's this rustic feel to that particular song. I truly cherish that. But today we are going to talk about your latest track. Entourage is basically it's a fusion of rap and pop, right? And I have seen the track, so it has a different elevating layers to it, right? So would you like to talk about it?
So it's a great feeling to be part of Entourage because, it's a fabulous team, right from Tel Ganesan to the ATG, Omar Gooding, um, the director, they've been just fabulous and very easy to work with. So the exciting thing is they came to me with this, like, will you sing the song? Because ATG has produced it and Omar Gooding is rapping, and will you sing the song? And I said, I'd love to do it. And, so it feels, first of all, I'm just really privileged that I'm probably the only Indian to sing in a Hollywood film in English.
Yeah, yeah,
That too.
yeah, yeah.
And it's being accepted. I mean, if it's 1 million views in one day, then it's seriously accepted. So I'm saying, that people are loving it and you're on the right spot. So from the way the team has approached it, everybody has supported. It's been great working with them. Kaiba Films, all of them have been, they've allowed me to be the singer I am. I think ATG has never really pushed me to do this only or that only. They've got a basic idea of where they want the song to go, but they've let me be myself. And even Omar Gooding is sounding himself. He's so relaxed and he's so fluid with what he's saying and how the groove of what he's saying. And then, of course, ATG has brought the beats up to the right, like you were saying, the layers that keep coming up, and it makes you want to get out the floor right away. So, working with the team like this has been really beautiful because I'm not used to collaborating with people. If you see most of my work, right from Pari Hu Main to Janam Samjagaru to Yar, I mean, I'm the musical director, I'm the one who's producing it, and I'm not, and except for Colonial Cousins, where we are two people, we are the same band, I've never really collaborated with any other people. So now to be able to collaborate with such a team, I was a little kind of wondering how will it be. It was new for me, but it's turned out to be really fabulous. And Ricky Brochel, the director, he directed me in such a nice way as to how he's looking at the film and what's happening in that scene in the movie, and yeah, it's
Okay.
exciting.
Sir, I really wanted to ask you that in the time and age when people are really going gaga over their achievements, I have seen your social media profiles as well. You keep it very subtle, like you believe in, living in your own world and not promoting yourself that much. So, is that intentional?
No, now I have you to promote me. So I think that you will promote me because somewhere you will see the authenticity of the music, and I'm in it for the music. I've survived my entire musical career only because of the music, not because of promotion has happened. It's required, it's necessary. But I believe that fundamentally, if your content is not good, you can't you can't last. And for me, the melody is most important. So whether it's a Pariyu Mein, Janam Samja Karo, Yaro Dosti, Pal, Sani Dhapa, Krishna, the melody is required.
And
And
it's beautiful.
yeah, so like Entourage is working because it's about city to city. I mean, it gets you. You know what I'm saying. So the song is most important, and for me, over the years, I think promotion has always been important, and I've always made time for it because it is really the key, and especially nowadays. But if you that's why really, if you look at the music scene, there are no songs that you're taking away because the melodies are not that strong. And that's what so I've started something called Global Hindi.
Hmm.
So in the 90s, what became indie pop of these songs that I just mentioned, that whole genre, in 2021 kya hoga? I mean, alternate music is always there. So today they call it indie music. Okay, great. So we got indie music. But where are the indie songs? Why isn't everybody singing all these indie songs? Why are you still singing songs that are in cinema? So that's great. That's a super place. But so because of that, I've started something called Global Hindi. So the music is global, but it's all in Hindi. I want to talk to the Hindi speaking people. So I've produced a singer called Kavya Jones, and her song it got playlisted in Wink without even announcing it out. We announced the video out, but the non-video part of the EP went like on got playlisted. So you know that people are listening to music.
Yeah.
In the same way, with so many of my songs, I mean, this last month, I've done a song called Choda Tune, which is blues. Like I said, it's global, but it's in Hindi. And I'm talking to the Hindi people.
Mm.
And it got playlisted in Brazil, it got playlisted in Argentina, it got playlisted on Spotify World, Geo Savan editors pick top 15, iTunes, India, all genre, which means Bollywood, Ghazal, Sufi, whatever, all genre top 200 by 59 without any promotion, just putting the song out. So you know that people they want good music. Somewhere the music has to talk, and I think that's what I've really been doing rather than promoting myself. From the question that you asked, that why don't you promote? I said that music will talk. Let
Yes.
the music talk.
Absolutely, and Entourage is definitely one of the most peppiest and most funkiest song I have seen of late.
Thank
But
you.
and kudos to the entire team for that. And so we were talking about music industry. So would you like to talk about the industry as a whole per se? Like, do you follow? I mean, like you said about indie pop, where are the indie pop singers now? The way they have created entire revolution in 1990s, where are they now? What happened to the music industry of that time? So would you like to talk about that a little bit, since Colonial Cousins is definitely one of the most cherishing thing that has
Yeah.
been given to music industry.
So I think the music industry in the 90s was very different from the music industry in the 2021s. And at that time, the record label, they paid for all the stuff. Paid for the making of the music, they paid for the making of the video, they paid for marketing, promotion, and they put their money where their mouth was. So they believed in you as an artist and they funded it. And that's why they promoted it the way it was promoted, and that's why you got to see. And we don't have, I mean, at that time we had only Channel V and MTV that was playing non-film music, and that became huge. In today's time, unfortunately, it's kind of left for the artists to record their own music, to make their own videos and promote themselves, and because of that, how much can an artist do? Most artists are artistically oriented, they are not financially oriented. So when there is no business behind them, how can they run the business? So what artists today are trying to do is create a business. They have become the marketing head, they've become the PR team, they've become everything themselves. And and that's why probably with Global Hindi, I don't have a PR team, I don't have a marketing team, I've not even kept management. You need to do a show with me, you'll have to call me directly. You want to listen to my music, just get onto my YouTube channel, and I'm just directly connecting with you. So that's the way it's become. So it's not better or worse, it's the world is changing, fair enough. So we got to see where is it going. The only one big issue I keep seeming to have all the time is that in the 90s, when all the music labels were creating their artists, so whether it was a KK or Asha Bhosle, or whether I'm talking about the independent music, like
Yes. Yeah.
a song like Janam Samjha Karo became so big that they actually made a movie called Janam Samjha Karo. So it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
independent
True.
song. Yeah.
Yes.
So
True.
I'm saying, but my point is, they promoted all these artists and they became the legendary indie pop artists that you know them. In today's time, and a lot of the songs on those albums, there was somebody called the A&R manager, artist and repertoire manager. He was from the team of the record label, but he was a little musical guy. He was some sort of artistically oriented, and he would be the liaison between the artist and the record label, who was the financial guy. And he tried to see how it made financial sense to the record label, but also artistically made sense to the public at large. So if you had 10 songs and he said, "Nahi, you want to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5," he said, "Nahi, yaar, 5 acha nahi, chhod de. Do 1, 2 and do 7, 8, 9. These are super," because he saw the commerciality. Those songs became more commercial, more released to the public, and the public got a very curated set of songs on an album. In today's time, everybody is their own A&R and their own label, and I feel like writing my own songs. I compose my own songs. I'm a great singer, and they're just putting it online. So you have to now wade through so many songs that don't interest you or don't excite you, because there's nobody curating that for you, the listener, the audience.
Okay. And would you like to talk a little bit more about global Hindi, especially in the time and age when the entire world is going crazy over Bollywood tracks and obviously fascinated with the Western culture? Would you like to talk a little bit about how you want to promote global Hindi on the global platform?
It needs to be promoted on the Indian platform first because it's all in Hindi.
Ah,
And,
ah,
you know, and I'm like, छोड़ा तूने कैसे मुझे इस हाल में टू 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 छोड़ा तूने कैसे मुझे इस हाल में टू टू ओ ये दिल कह रहा है फंस गया तेरी जाल में I mean it's blues, it's rock and roll, but it's in Hindi and it's talking to the Hindi guy.
yeah,
छोड़ा तूने कैसे मुझे इस हाल में ये दिल कह रहा है फंस गया तेरी जाल में. होता है, सबको होता है. It doesn't have to be to the black Americans or the white Americans or whatever. It happens to Indians also. So, so it's the story of a lot of people's lives, but it's in Hindi with a sound and an attitude that is not there in the typical Hindi space, and that's what global Hindi is. So when I say global Hindi, everything is not blues and rock and roll. If you hear a song called "Teri Meri Zindagi," it's a
ah,
duet I've sung with Kavya Jones, and it's just probably the most romantic song of this year. I can happily say that because it's so classically simple romantic song. एक प्यारा गाना है. So, so in the same way, as songs come out, you'll hear jazz and you'll hear blues and you'll hear Indian, you might hear ghazals, you might, but it won't sound like the ghazal singer because I am not a ghazal singer. Leslie Lewis is not a ghazal singer, so you're going to hear him compose a song like a ghazal song, but he will sing it like himself, which is again very different from. So as things go ahead, you're going to hear lots of this global sound in the music. It could be Indian folk also, it could be Indian classical, but it's going to be with my attitude, the artist, because I've done nothing for Leslie Lewis, the artist. I've done as a composer, producer, I've done for all the artists including Colonial Cousins, as a shared platform. But as an independent artist, Leslie Lewis, I've done nothing really speaking. So I'm saying, I'm 21 now and I have to start again. So why not do music? And I will sing my own songs. I will also create songs for you and for other artists, like I've done for Kavya Jones. I'm doing a couple of songs for a lot of new artists that you will hear in the coming future. So they're coming to me to produce them. That's what I was doing in the 90s and the 80s. But I'm now also producing a singer called Leslie Lewis. And he's spearheading the global Hindi space. So
wow.
that is going to be the new exciting Hindi music, which you felt in the 90s when you heard all the songs. It was the exciting new Hindi music, very different from Bollywood. I'm not saying Bollywood is good or bad. It's got its own place. In the same way, in 2021, you're going to hear all of this year and next year, you're going to hear a lot of new songs in a completely different space. I ask a lot of people, I play them 20, 30, 40 songs, and I've asked them a simple question. Have you ever heard anything like this on radio? And my answer is always no. And that means it's not in Bollywood because radio plays fundamentally Bollywood. So if it's not in
Yes.
Bollywood, there is another space of Hindi, which is what we created in the 90s
Ah,
as indie pop.
yeah, of course. And we
In
so want that
2020,
era to come back, of course.
that era will never, how it'll be difficult to come back with those artists, that promotion by those labels, the way it went around in that time zone was very, India was very new. I mean, to get a band of boys, I mean, everybody's like, wow, 5 boys, they look so cool. It was like the girls' fantasy. I mean, that is it. Now you come up with a band of boys, it doesn't matter. It's done. I'm saying, what are you doing now for
Yeah.
this generation? At the same time, I don't want to lose mommy and daddy.
Yes.
उसके
Of
लिए
course.
मेलोडी होना जरूरी है.
Bilkul, bilkul, sir. And I was watching one of your interviews because I had to take this particular interview, and uh, in one of the interviews, you were talking about your journey in the music industry, especially the initial phase that was not so smooth, right? You had your share of setbacks, and you felt emotional about it. So is that the reason why you are so grounded and you are so like the industry so well, and you had your share of failures in your life initially? So does that make you more grounded now and very true to yourself?
I think there are two reasons. One, this is my fifth avatar in the music business. It's my fifth avatar as a singer performer. I started as a guitar player, the first avatar, which was a sessions guitar player. I'd be playing for everybody's recordings, and then I became a jingle composer. That so you've heard mango fruity, fresh and juicy, all
Yeah.
those. Yeah. So as a jingle composer, from nothing to the top of the chain takes a long time. When you start off fresh, it's very difficult for people to give you work because you're not established in that business. You're a very good guitar player, yeah, but you're not necessarily a good composer. So I don't know. So वो मुश्किलें face करते करते you come to the top of that wheel. दूध पियो glass full, whatever you've done it all. Then you say I want to do songs. I just don't want to do 15 seconds and 30-second songs, jingles. Again, songs के लिए कोई chance ही नहीं दे रहा है because they don't believe in you, because they've already seen you like a great jingle composer. By the time you do a परी हूँ मैं और जानम समझा कर, and then they say, oh, he's such a great composer. Okay, so now from not getting any work, so the tough parts are always when you start fresh, and then it takes time. So as a pop music producer, that took time. As Colonial Cousins, we had the same hard time. We had the album ready in 1994. Till 1996 nobody released it. ये क्या है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, गजल पॉप है क्या, भजन पॉप है?
Nice.
These are the questions that we were being asked, and Warner Brothers did not release the album, saying great album, fabulously produced, but what is it? And they didn't release it. So 94. So 95, 96, finally in 96, it got released just because it's chalo release karte. And boom, you got the Billboard Awards. Fantastic.
I swear.
Music is talking. So
Changed
that
the
was the
music
fourth
industry.
avatar as a band. So guitar player, jingle composer, pop music producer, and band. Char ho gaye. Now the fifth one is singer performer. I'm saying, okay, now I have to write songs for Leslie Lewis, the singer. And as you can see, Choda Tune and Teri Meri Zindagi, all these songs have really, with no promotion, nobody, is gone boom. As a singer, I'm singing in Hollywood, boom. So it looks like the growth is faster this time. But it's not like I haven't had a hard time trying to become a singer, because everybody says, oh, aren't you the Colonial Cousin? I said, yes, I am. But I'm also an independent artist.
Yeah.
I can be, just like Hariharan is an independent artist, but you got
Yeah.
used to seeing him in his ghazal days and whatever from that time. So you know of him as an independent artist. I have never presented myself as an independent artist. So my first presentation has been Colonial Cousins. So you only see me like that. I'm saying, okay, fine, that's how you see me, but now you're going to see me in a different avatar, which is the singer performer. And that is global Hindi, not just as a different avatar, but a different avatar that brings in a different sound to the Hindi space.
Okay, but does that mean that we are not going to see Colonial Cousins in days to come? Why you guys are
Not
so
at all.
sad?
I don't see why not. It's just like I said, because the industry has changed so much, and the record labels, the way they are marketing things, the way they're investing in projects, whatever, is very different today. And it's so streaming based, it's so numbers based. Um, it was numbers based then also. It was a matter of sales. Today it's a very different kind of, but when the right team comes together, I'm sure it will happen, because we are excited to make music. Ari and I, we still perform live. You know, so it's not like we don't perform. It's just that you don't see us on TV like you used to see us in the 90s. So we're not there all the time, because we are two different guys formed a band. Hariharan has his own um, brand, and
Yeah.
Leslie Lewis has their own brand. But together, we've come together and we've done Colonial Cousins. But Colonial Cousins was a time pass band. It was just for fun.
Oh,
You know,
but that
when their
that
members
the band has given some of the beautiful tracks, some of the serious
yes,
tracks, which we still like
yes,
feel
but
good
we
about.
love our music. We love our music. That's why you're hearing that. But
Yeah.
somebody, for example, an independent artist like a Daler Mehndi or whatever, they don't do other things. They do Daler Mehndi,
Yeah.
or as an independent artist. So they're not doing other. Here, Leslie Lewis is doing other things, producing other artists. Hariharan is doing ghazal album, doing Tamil songs, whatever. But when we come together, we do Colonial Cousins. So for us, it's actually a time pass band that became really popular. That we
Okay.
we formed it just for fun.
Okay.
So if it comes together, we'll still have fun. That's because we always have fun performing together.
How you see in this time and age when we have so much to take from social media, uh, global Hindi, like you said, is going to find its foothold in.
Yeah, it's a very hard one. It's very difficult, but I'm relying on the music. Like I told you, I'm only about the
Yeah.
music, and I'm relying on the music to talk to you. And if you don't like this song, I don't think there is any one artist that is coming out with a song literally every month. I don't think so. At least 3-4 months ka gap ke baad there might be a new song, but I've got a new song every month, which means a new video every month, which means I'm coming to hit you so hard that if you don't like this song, you can next month you'll get another song. You don't like that next month, you love this song, amazing. Next month you may not like. You will find your favorites there because the music is going to be so varied. All the music that I grew up with as an artist, the genres in the world that I grew up with, I want to present to everybody in Hindi, and that's global Hindi. So
So
you're
are we
going to
say,
see lots of stuff.
so are we going to see more of your association with the newcomers of the industry who are going to make it
Absolutely.
big? Yeah.
You've already seen there's a singer called Kavya Jones who's
Yeah.
actually a protege, and I produced her first EP. She's doing fabulously well. You can listen to her voice. So that is a young artist. I've got a couple of two or three people I'm already producing for, and I'm talking about the next generation artists, young kids, who I'm producing. Why do they need to come to me?
Yeah.
So they're coming to
True.
me. Why? Because they know the song will be there, and that is what you can sing, and that's why it will stay. So I will produce other people. I will be doing lots of music. I still do advertising. I still do all that stuff. But the special thing for me in this time is the music I'm doing for the singer called Leslee Lewis, and that is global Hindi.
Finally, you got time for yourself. You want to promote yourself. That's so powerful to hear. Seriously, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
really
tell
want
a
to.
lot of people that it's
Yeah.
2021, and I just turned 61. But I've decided that I'm going to be 21 because it's 2021. I'm going to be 21. Now we start all over again.
We really missed you in the past few months. So we really want to
You
see more
just
of
tune
you.
into my channel. You subscribe, ring that, put that bell icon, whatever they say,
Uh,
and keep following. And I promise you, you're going to love some songs, and you're going to hate some songs. You know, when I did Coke Studio, when I started Coke Studio, I met Mr. Bachchan on the flight, and he said, "So we were going to Delhi for the release of Coke Studio, the opening night." So he said, "You have some show in Delhi?" I said, "No, no, we're releasing something called Coke Studio." So he said, "What is that?" So I explained it to him. So he said, "Sounds really interesting. Can you send me the music?" So I said, "Okay, but on one condition." I said, "There are 51 songs. I'm going to send you the 51 songs, but you have to promise you to make a folder for yourself. And the ones you love, put it in that folder. The ones you hate, just leave it alone because somebody else is going to love those. So you only listen to what you love. And that's what's going to happen with Global Hindi because there's so much content. You're going to find your favorites. And I'm saying don't listen to songs you don't like. Just listen to the ones you like. And if you don't like it, wait for next month, another one will come.
no, I think I'm going to listen each and every song for sure because it's coming from Leslie Lewis. Finally,
And
thank.
fortunately or unfortunately, it's so video driven that sometimes the video can take you off on another. But if you listen to the music as music, I think they all stand their own ground.
I'm sure, for sure. Thank you so much, Leslie sir. It was pleasure talking to you after such a long time. I was literally waiting for this day to come and I'll get to meet you. Happened virtually, but that's okay. Hopefully after pandemic. Thank you
Yes.
so much.